Welcome back to Chapter 7, Writing for the Web. So we're going to talk about getting started on web pages, organizing and designing web pages, writing text for the web, and special web content. So we're going to talk about planning, organizing, writing, and definitely concentrating on that specialized web content. So did you know half the world's population actually uses the internet? I'm surprised it's not more. Knowing how to write for these specific users, that's going to give you an advantage in the workplace. So it is going to be a different type of writing, whether you're writing for the web or writing for a document. So the internet is a global system of networks, the infrastructure that holds the World Wide Web, which is a www in any web address that you have. It holds email, instant messaging, and anything that goes through that system. So people that read material on the internet read it very differently than how you would read a printed text. You're going to scan page across the top, center, and then down from left to right looking for keywords. Instead of flipping pages or going to different sections, you're actually going to find a link and open up a whole new web page or a whole new website to access additional information. The internet is much more active, interactive, and your reader is controlling the information that they are seeing. So for example, you have, say, our school website. You can go to athletics or you can go to academics. It's up to the reader to make that choice. So what is your purpose? This seems to be a recurring theme here, right? That we always need to know the purpose and why something is being done. What do you want to happen as a result of the page? Again, is this a take action? Is this an information? Do you want your reader to purchase something? Why are you doing this? So to plan a web page, establish your purpose on the homepage. Okay, your homepage is that very first site that everybody sees as soon as they enter in your web address. The most traditional online technical writing is to inform or persuade, but most web pages do have additional goals such as offering services, creating community. Okay, so for example, Amazon has a much different purpose for their homepage than Carolina University has. Who are your readers? The readers that are going to find your website, this is called your demographics, and this is going to define specific characteristics of your audience. So it's going to be things such as location, age, gender, education, marital status, income. So that is going to indicate to you who is reading your page, but also who you are writing for. Because remember, you're writing for that specific purpose. Planning web pages. So after you define what that target demographic is going to be, you need to ask yourself, what information are your readers expecting? What do they need? What are they going to do with this information? And what will convince them that your goods or services have value? Now, you might say, okay, Carolina University is not selling a product, but it is selling the school, right? So you have a section for recruitment that's going to look a lot different than the section that is for existing students. Existing students are looking for class schedules and how to find their courses online and how to find student activities. Prospective students are looking for things like possibly tuition costs, what programs are available, and things like that. So two very, very different purposes. You do have to consider the technology. Are you using monitors? Are you using multiple monitors? Do you want mobile viewing? Sometimes seeing things on a smartphone is much, much different than seeing it on a laptop or even a desktop monitor screen. You do have to take into consider internet connection speeds because slower speeds are going to load slower web pages when you have pages that are filled of graphics and video and things of that nature. You also need to take into account different browsers and possibly with that, the different operating systems. So when we say different browsers, we do have Safari, we've got Firefox, we've got Chrome, we've got Edge, all of those, and all of those are used over different types of operating systems. Next, organizing the web pages. We're going to organize a web page just like we would organize a document. We can use index cards or sticky notes. But the one thing that does help us is we can organize it into a hierarchy by using something like the organizational chart we learned in last section. With the home page is going to be at the top because your user is always going to start at the home page. And then from that home page, where can they go? And what associated information needs to be with it? You can plan the hyperlinks. And a hyperlink is that thing on the internet that you click that will take you to a different location. It can be a word, it can be a graphic, doesn't matter. But you do want to plan them so that they make sense and plan them well. You want to let your readers know when an external link is going to take them off your site. So if you are transferring them to another website that is not under your control, you do want to let your reader know, because you may or may not want to be associated with whatever information is on that other website. Your users should have access to your homepage links to go back to the first page from anywhere. You should typically have a previous page and a next page. You may or may not have a breadcrumb trail. And when we say breadcrumb trail, that is going to show the link between of how you got to where you are from the homepage. So a lot of times if you are on a retail site, it'll say, okay, you have gone into kitchen, small appliances, mixing bowls, and it will show you that step. That's the breadcrumb. A hyperlink sitemap, like a table of contents, typically that's available for all websites. A navigation bar, typically with links to other pages or some type of menu bar or drop-down menus. A good thing to have is a search box for keywords to help whoever's reading it to find what they want to read. And a footer that is going to meet your WAI guidelines. Now, the top design principle of a web page is usability. So how easy is it for your user to find, read, get what they need? They should be uncluttered, symmetric as always, pleasing to the eye, and they should be inviting. So the header sets your tone of your web page. So you should have an appropriate image and appropriate wording. Page layout should be easy to scan. You're not going to need more than a few scrolls. You don't want much longer than that. Short lines of text allow a page to be easily scanned. Again, use those headings. Graphics are going to break up the text and support content. You can use different file formats when you're looking at graphics, such as a GIF, JPEG, or a PNG file. So some suggestions: using multimedia very sparingly. This again goes back to that internet speeds. Animation, audio, video, a lot of those take up a lot of bandwidth, and your reader may not have that type of bandwidth. Organize text and graphics into tables or grids. Sans serif fonts are easier to read online. Avoid underlining words because most web pages use underlining to indicate hyperlinking. So if you underline something for emphasis, the reader might mistake it as a hyperlink. Use color carefully, plan a neutral background and avoid too many colors. Be consistent. And again, follow those web accessibility guidelines that are out there for web pages. So strategies for all types of web pages: short descriptive titles. You want to get that hook. You want to catch the reader's eye. You want to pique their interest. Write directly to your audience. Provide important details after you have made the main point. Offer facts, not hype. So again, remember, we're still in the technical document realm, so we want to really concentrate on those facts. Incorporate hyperlinks seamlessly into sentences. This is going to be where your reader's understanding of how a web page works and that an underlined word is a hyperlink is going to assist you. And again, use standard English. We don't want to go into the jargon or too much into industrial talk because web pages reach a much broader audience. So scannable text help your users find information fast. Use those headings, short paragraphs, short sentences, bulleted lists are always great. And using keywords within the first words of your text. So you want to make sure that your reader understands that these keywords are what is going to be addressed further down on the page. Your homepage is going to be the main place where your readers come. So create a headline to get their attention and announce the site's purpose. Short introduction, short conclusion. Some good links to have off of your homepage are a link to articles, an FAQ section or a frequently asked questions, or even a blog. So add links suited to your business. Do you need a gallery of pictures? Do you want testimonials, games, special sales? What makes sense for what you're trying to do? Based on your purpose, these things are going to change. The essentials of your homepage: contact information, logo or branding, an about section, your navigation system or menu bar, the date of the last update, and any kind of disclaimers or privacy statements that you have. Now that we're going to go back to that FAQ, or frequently asked questions. Here is a good place to answer questions that your readers might frequently have. So what are their questions? You can create these organically as you go by, just by seeing the same questions from customers, or you can kind of get ahead of the game and anticipate what those questions are going to be. So ask questions using what your readers' vocabulary and terminology are. So make sure you come at it from that reader's point of view. Use a consistent format to differentiate your question and your answer. Keep your answers short. Organize the questions in order of importance or chronologically. Place easy to find links on other pages, and make sure that your answers are accurate. So popular social media. Social media, we all know what social media is. It allows users to participate in some type of community online. So today we've got Facebook, Twitter, Pinterest, TikTok, all of those lovely things. So social media content, there are such things as blogs on social media sites. And that is typically where periodic updates are done in a reverse chronological order, so that the newest post is at the top. It is a source of information and a source of community, because typically the information on a specific topic, that's where you're going to go to a blog. Credible blogs are going to be meaningful, accurate, attractive, and interesting. And a lot of times blogs will use the RSS, and it's kind of going out of style, but it is still used. Feeds to update readers. RSS feeds typically will scan for blog updates and deliver updates to an RSS reader or an email inbox. Wikis are another place for social media content, and it allows users to collaborate on writing a web page. Some wikis, like Wikipedia, are open to everyone, but that's what makes it a little difficult to use as a credible source. But there are other wikis out there, such as Ask Dr. Wiki, which only allow experts to contribute. So their editors and their contributors and authors are evaluated ahead of time. So those are a little bit easier to take as factual than someplace as Wikipedia. So if you would like to participate in a wiki, learn the process for editing. Again, they use neutral tones, post factual information only, and they include references to their sources. If you've ever noticed, Wikipedia at the very bottom has references to all of the information contained. Discussion forums. So readers can discuss topics or receive answers to topics. A lot of times discussion forums are topic or industry, or they're based in a common idea. So if you are going to participate, offer as much information as you have, but again, we're being concise, provide factual and accurate information, put your main ideas first, and think critically about others' responses. Not every posting is going to be as credible as all of them. So you do want to make sure that whoever's answer, especially if you're asking a question, that is coming from a reputable source and someone that knows what they're talking about. Last but not least, video sharing. So we have sites such as YouTube, Venmo, even TikTok to some extent that host short videos for entertainment and education. So you might be asked to write a script for a video presentation or for something that would be used for educational purposes. So things that you could use were testimonials, how-to guides, and virtual tours. So these would be things that wouldn't necessarily be so much as the spur of the moment entertainment. It would be something much more scripted and understood by your users. So that is all for the lecture today. There is no assignment on this chapter in particular, so take the day off. And as always, I'm available by email, and I will see you next lecture.